are going to go inside a black hole. It's not going to be comfortable, but it will be pretty fun. Now, first things first, mathematically speaking, anything could become a black hole if you were to compress it into a small enough space. That's right, you, me, this camera, everything in the universe has what is known as a Schwarzschild radius, a tiny, tiny amount of space that, were you to collapse the entire mass of the object into, its density would be so great that its gravitational pull would be so great that not even light could escape from it. You would have a black hole. If you were to compress Mount Everest into something smaller than a nanometer, you would have a black hole. And if you were to compress the entire Earth down to the size of a peanut, you would have a black hole. But fortunately for us, there is no known way to compress Everest or Earth in that fashion. But a star, many, many, many times larger than our own sun, has a much larger Schwarzschild radius. And when it runs out of fuel and can no longer keep itself hot enough, it collapses to a single infinitesimally small point known as a singularity. Its density will be infinite, and so its gravitational pull will be so strong that nothing can escape, not even light. But enough about ways black holes form, let's jump into one. First question, what would it look like from the outside? Well, we know that gravitational fields bend space and time. Stars behind our sun will actually appear to be in slightly different locations from Earth because the sun's gravitational field bends the light coming from those stars. When it comes to the gravitational fields of larger objects like entire galaxies, or for that matter a black hole, the effect is even nuttier. Light coming from objects behind them is significantly distorted, producing smears and smudges. As seen from Earth, the blue galaxy behind this red galaxy is completely distorted like a funhouse mirror. So rather than appearing as it really should, it looks to us like a ring, a smudge all the way around the red galaxy. This is known as gravitational lensing. Now take a look at this simulation of a black hole with a galaxy millions of light years behind it. The galaxy is not really in danger of the black hole's suck, but the light coming off of that galaxy certainly is. Watch as the galaxy passes behind the black hole, and its light is contorted, twisted, and distorted. Now here's a really fun demonstration. What if the Earth were to orbit around a black hole? Looking from the outside, the Earth would look normal at first, but as soon as it passed behind the black hole's gravitational field would warp the light reflecting off the Earth, producing this. For the sake of simplicity, let's jump into a simple black hole, one that doesn't have a charge and isn't moving, and also isn't already sucking up a bunch of matter, so it's just there on its own. As we approach, the distortion of the sky grows greater and greater. A larger and larger portion of our field of view looking forward into the black hole will be filled with darkness. At this point, where half of our field of view has been swallowed up in darkness, we have reached the photon sphere. At this point, light is not going to necessarily get sucked into the black hole, but it doesn't necessarily leave it either. Instead, at this magical point in space, light, photons, can actually orbit the black hole. If you were to stop here for a moment and look to the side, you could theoretically see the back of your own head, because light reflecting off the back of your head would travel all the way around the sphere of the black hole right back to your face. A gravitational field not only warps space, it also warps time. Now, for most intents and purposes here on Earth, we never have to worry about that. But near a black hole, gravity would be so strong that an observer standing, watching you jump into the hole, would see something quite strange. They wouldn't see you get sucked quickly into the hole. Instead, they would see your approach become slower and slower and slower until you reached a point known as the event horizon. This is a point in space where, once crossed, there's no going back. It is at that point that light can no longer escape. And so to a person watching you fall into the hole, that would be where your journey ended. You would seem almost frozen in space, the light coming off your body becoming increasingly red-shifted until you simply faded into nothingness. They would never see you cross the event horizon. But for you, of course, everything would seem fine and dandy. You would continue past that horizon to your now inevitable death. As you continue to approach the black hole's singularity, your view of the entire universe would get compressed into a smaller and smaller point in space behind you. If the black hole we're jumping into is large enough, things might actually be quite comfortable at that event horizon. We'll know that we're never going to escape and that our lives are pretty much over, but it might take us hours to actually reach a point where things started to hurt. Why would they hurt? Well, the closer you get to the singularity, the more significant the difference in gravitational pull is across space. And so parts of me that are closer to the singularity would be pulled more strongly than parts that were facing away, and my entire body would be stretched toward the singularity. The effect would be so incredible, scientists don't usually call it stretching, they call it spaghettification. Once you reached this point, you would be dead. Your molecules would be violently ripped and stretched apart, and when they got to the singularity, well, we don't really know what would happen. Perhaps they would completely disappear in violation of all the laws of physics, or maybe they would reappear elsewhere in the universe. It's believed that a moving or spinning black hole might actually create what is known as a wormhole, a way of transitioning across space faster than light. Not in any way that violates the laws of science, but in a way that takes advantage of the universe's dimensions. For instance, if I wanted to get from this point to this point, I'd have to travel the distance. But theoretically, a wormhole would do something really crazy. For instance, this. Now, the 2 points are right next to each other and I can travel between them almost instantaneously. But again, the 2 points do something really crazy. For instance, this. Now, the 2 points are right next to each other and I can travel between them almost instantaneously. But again, this is all theoretical. Luckily, we do have a possible...
Ooh, hello there, my fellow miners and crafters. Good times with Scar here, and Scars, welcome to the day in the life of Good Times with Scar, and I am really excited to take you along with me today as we do streams, meetings, editing videos, and maybe we're going to do is we're going to go over to live stream. We're going to click live stream. That didn't do anything visually, but that's what changed all the settings. All the magic just happened in the background. Now, if I were to go back over to my stream deck, as you can see, I have, you know, starting stream, thank you for watching, be right back. So if I were to click, let's see, let me turn off thanks for watching. So as you can see, oh, there we go. There we go. So you can see the big Scar screen right there. So that looks pretty cool. So what I can do now is I can switch it towards the game. So this would be the game, and I can switch it back, and then I can click what we need to do today is starting soon. So there we go. So OBS is now set up. Everything has, you know, been preloaded. I've pretty much refined everything that I do in this process pretty darn well. So yeah, that is the last thing we need to do for a little bit. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of get onto Hermitcraft. I'm going to kind of fly around and see what I need to do, get any resources together. But yeah, there's more we need to do, but that happens closer to the actual stream. All right, we are ready to go. I've got a bunch more done.
En Argentina existen muchos negocios de abajo y es importante toda nuestra ayuda. Si tenés un comercio, entra en misa.com.ar para digitalizarte y ofrecer tus productos. Y si vas a comprar, comprar con negocios de abajo. Cuando lo encontrás, Visa.
Nuestra recorrida por el exterior, ya están los fantásticos, está Gustavo Seguirre primero. Gustavo, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo va?
¿Qué tal, Eduardo? Buenas noches para vos, buenas noches para todos. Bueno, aquí con un día con la misma cantidad, te diría, promedio de contagios, 54.801 en las últimas 24 horas, llegando a 2.917.562. La cantidad de fallecidos mantiene cantidad de 900.226 en las últimas 24 horas, con un total de 98.644 casos, reduciendo el índice de letalidad nuevamente el 0,2%, está en 3,38%. Los recuperados 2.037.660, llegando, como ayer, 70,2%. Dos informaciones muy rápidas, Eduardo, sobre las vacunas. La pandemia provisoria que aprueba el Congreso con la salida de 400 millones de dólares, lo adelantamos hace algunos días, para transferencia tecnológica con el Oxford, para tener 100 millones de dosis de la vacuna. Y por otro lado, uno de los directores, director presidente del Instituto Butantan, el señor Dimas Covas, dijo que a partir de octubre debe estar disponible el pedido de registro ante la Agencia Nacional de Vigilancia Sanitaria para la vacuna Sinovac, que aquí me dice Corona. Dos rápidas de economía. El seguro de desempleo cayó en el mes de julio el 12,7% en relación al mes anterior de junio, pero lo más interesante fue que también se redujo el pedido de seguro de desempleo en relación al año pasado, 8,8%. El brasilero continúa ahorrando en caja de ahorro. Ayer decíamos que bajó la tasa de interés anual de 2%. Bueno, en el mes de julio los brasileños ahorraron en caja de ahorro equivalente a 6.000 millones de dólares. Obviamente, en real, el brasileño no compra absolutamente dólares. Dos puntos de salud. El Consejo Federal de Medicina advirtió a todos los médicos que si alguno recomendar la ozonoterapia famosa por cualquiera de las vías que mencionaron, será penalizado por el Consejo. Por las dudas, en cualquiera de las formas, puede ser endovenosa o la otra, no importa, pero no la pueden recomendar. El Consejo Federal de Medicina salió a colocar de alguna manera su opinión o su posición respecto a la recomendación del intendente de Itajaí. Y un dato para compartir con el doctor Sim, porque realmente llamó mucho la curiosidad aquí en Brasil. Una joven enfermera de 24 años, según la información del Hospital de Clínicas de Ribeirão Preto, investigado por la USP, Universidad de São Paulo, muy famosa y prestigiosa, habría dado 2 veces positivo. La primera vez fue el día 6 de mayo y la segunda vez, después de 38 días asintomática, el 27 de junio. Tuvo síntomas de nuevo, 2 personas de su familia se contagiaron y lo más curioso, y ahí sí le pido ayuda al doctor Sim, el contagio continúa siendo positivo para el COVID-19. es que tienen la habilidad de robar. Pocas veces visto. El ladrón era una persona ciega, como vemos en el video. Están tratando de robar ahí una patente, no lo consigue y está con
está con el bastón.
el bastón. Sí, señor. Es una persona con deficiencia visual que está obviamente tratando de robar la patente para...
Eso es raro. Lo pariendo mal.
Que por favor no viajen a la Argentina. ¿Esto por qué es? Es por el recrudecimiento de la cantidad de casos de Argentina que como recién lo estaban hablando con Gustavo, ya en proporción de similar a la de puede haber cierre de comercios también y pueden aquellos que mismo estadounidenses que están
What the fuck? What the fuck?
cristianos, musulmanes, judíos, todos juntos rezando para que el Líbano trate de salir cuanto antes de esta
What the
pesadilla.
fuck?
Las pirámides de Giza en Egipto también, tenemos una foto impactante reflejando la bandera del Líbano. Giza, un mar de las afueras del Cairo, que es las últimas maravillas del mundo antiguo que se siguen en pie. Y también el edificio más alto del mundo, con 830 metros en Dubái, en los Emiratos Árabes, reflejó la bandera del Líbano en homenaje también a otro país, los Emiratos, con una gran comunidad de libaneses. Y ahí venimos al Reino
What
Unido,
the
donde
fuck?
tenemos 49 muertes en las últimas 24 horas, 950 contagios, sigue subiendo la
Otro 3.
muertos dentro y fuera de hospitales, porque finalmente se comprueba que esta gente murió con coronavirus y no de científicos del gobierno. Bueno, Anthony Mills le aseguró a un amigo de él un hermoso contrato por 250 millones de libras esterlinas. La empresa se llama Ayanda, para proveer de material de protección al personal de primera línea, máscaras, guantes, delantales. 50 millones, hoy se descubren 50 millones de máscaras defectuosas. Ya está detenido y seguramente va a ser procesado en un escándalo que acaparó aquí los titulares del Reino Unido. La vacuna del Imperial College, la otra vacuna que están fabricando o están testeando ya en el Reino Unido, entra en su fase número 2. La fase número 1, 100% de efectividad en 250 voluntarios. En este caso incorpora 2.250 voluntarios en el condado de Yorkshire, esto es en el norte de Inglaterra, ciudades de Leeds y de York. No sé si Marcelo Bielsa va a ser uno de los voluntarios, me parece que no. Un hombre muy querido en esa parte de Inglaterra por haber subido al Leeds United. La aplicación de Oxford, ¿se acuerdan que la habíamos presentado? Tenía problemas, no funcionaba con el sistema operativo de Apple. Finalmente va a ser lanzada en los próximos días. Una alianza entre Oxford, el gobierno británico, Apple y Microsoft va a ser lanzada y va a funcionar con Bluetooth. 3 meses de retraso, pero va a servir para empezar a rastrear datos en un sistema de testigo de rastreo del gobierno británico que por ahora deja mucho que desear. Y para terminar, entra Bélgica mañana en los países cuyos arribos van a tener que ser cuarentena obligatoria de 2 semanas.
Gracias, querido viejo. Un abrazo muy, muy grande. Chau, mi viejo.
Abrazo.
Bueno, lo dijimos mañana viernes, ¿no? Sí, mañana viernes. Mañana, claro, obviamente. Mañana vamos a divertir en el domingo. Bueno, quienes no se están divirtiendo son aquellos que contrata o que muere